we did angles of polygons. We did areas of polygons. So that's the two main topics on the quiz tomorrow. One thing to review, though, that I did not mention that we did earlier in the year that's going to be on the quiz, it's really, really easy. It's the first question on your paper. It talks about what's concave, what's convex. I know these were these in your notes? I'm trying to remember from Friday. Some people said yes. Okay. So a quick refresher on concave and convex. Concave. Why is it doing that? All right. Concave versus convex. Who has a nerdy explanation about the difference between concave and convex? Anybody have a nerdy explanation? Nobody remembers? Cole?
Concave would be as if like one side is positioned inwards in terms of like the other side of the polygon.
Yeah, so let's do a concave example. Like, I think I know what you mean. When you said side, I think you meant like this vertex.
Yeah.
But the two sides kind of come into that vertex, right? So this is a concave polygon. All right. There's a nerdy definition. There's like a, oh yeah, I just think of it this way definition. The non-nerdy definition is it looks like this vertex has caved in. Concave. Remember talking about this earlier in the year? Concave. The ones you're used to seeing, the regular polygons that you're used to seeing, are called convex. So convex polygons are any that look like that, right? And even it doesn't have to be a regular polygon either. It could be a quadrilateral that's not regular. Okay, these are convex polygons. The nerdy definition is that any diagonals connect non-consecutive vertices. Any diagonal you draw goes on the interior of the polygon. Okay. So what about concave? A diagonal that you could draw in goes outside the polygon. Can you see that diagonal goes outside the polygon? So if it goes outside, it must be a concave polygon. That makes sense because if it caved in, you could draw a diagonal outside of it, right? Concave, convex. And then regular and irregular. Is a rhombus a regular or irregular polygon? A rhombus. Who votes regular? Who votes irregular? All right, irregular people. Why do you vote irregular? Krista?
Shouldn't all the sides be congruent and all the angles?
And all the angles, right? Regular polygons have all angles and sides congruent. And this has congruent sides, but like this would be an obtuse angle, this would be an acute angle. Those are not congruent. So this gets classified under irregular. Irregular. So for those of you keeping score for number one, a regular polygon has all angles and sides congruent. Irregular do not. We good? We good? All right, let's do an overview review, and then I will let you get started on the actual questions. Are you ready? Things you need to be careful of as you read the problems. I'm gonna give you pairs of information you need to watch for and underline and be careful. All right. Interior or exterior angles. And then are you asked about finding the sum or each? So as you read a problem, and by the way, these are going to be for regular polygons, okay? Because how could I ask you to find each angle of a polygon if it's not regular, right? Because if they're all the same, it's easy. If there's 10 angles, you find the sum and divide by 10, find each one, right? If they're not all the same, I'd have to give you a picture that you'd see the relationship between all the angles. Right? So here's an example. Find the sum of the interior angle measures of a convex hexagon. Find the sum of the interior angle measures of a convex, I said hexagon, not heptagon, right? Hexagon? Did I say hexagon?
Yeah.
Good listeners. All right. What is the formula for the sum of the interior angles? Good. N minus 2 times 180. So when you see these words paired together, sum, interior angles, okay? Well, this one is n equals 6, so 6 minus 2 times 180. 4 times 180 is, what's that, 720?
Yeah.
720 degrees. Let's do another one. I'm going to get rid of these now. Find each interior angle of a convex hexagon. So now you have to be careful because you might want to always use this formula, but you might have to do a little bit more work. If they want each one, how many angles are there in a hexagon? 6. So if you can find the sum, and you want each interior angle, and they're all the same, aren't you going to take your n minus 2 times 180? That gives you the sum, right? But then in general, not just for hexagons, what do you divide by?
Sides.
Which is? N. Okay, well, my numerator was 720 for a hexagon. Divided by 6. And each one is 120 degrees. Does that make sense, the difference? So I just made that up, second period. Kind of like classifying, like, okay, is it interior, exterior, is it sum, or is it each, right? So let's do another one. Find the sum of the exterior angles of a convex 100 gun. Find the sum of the exterior angles of a convex 100 gun. What's the answer?
360.
360. Good answer. The sum of the exterior angles is always 360. You don't need a formula for that. Remember that? Every polygon, the exterior angles add up to 360. Exterior angles add up to 360. But what if I reverse here? Reverse. And I ask for each exterior angle of a convex 100 gon. Wouldn't you take 360 and divide by 100 and get 3.6 degrees? 3.6 degrees. Question.
For the interior angles, couldn't you just do that and then subtract the exterior from 180 to get the
Yes.
interior?
No.
Will we ever have to do any problems with the concave or just no?
Someone on the street told me that the problem on the quiz tomorrow, it just gives you a picture and asks if it's concave or convex. I don't know if that person on the street was reputable. Okay.
I think I would put on the street.
Huh? Who is it? Huh, interesting. Does this make sense? Now, what about the area of a polygon? So there's two types of problems you're going to see tomorrow. These types, angles, and then area. What's the area formula for a polygon? Go ahead and say it. You know, it's a fun word to say. Good. And you have to use some Sokotoa. All right. The rest of the time, we will either work on the review or go over the review. I want to give you guys some time to start working. And we'll go over it.
Why are you drawing out? Stop drawing. It's not helping you with something.
I wanted to.
And I didn't even draw.
No,
I walked for that side. This side is okay.
I woke up and I was like,
Did I sprinkle glitter on your pillow? Fell asleep again?
yes.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's what happened. Yes. Which was the
What do you mean?
I got 144. Interior angles equals 144.
That's what, yeah.
This is each one.
Well, I couldn't do it. I didn't.
Also, on the quiz tomorrow, you're going to be asked to round up the nearest tenth, so 1 decimal place. So if you want to practice that, probably a good idea.
10 seconds.